I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby, here with Vicky Krieps, a star of the luscious period drama Corsage. Vicky, first of all, congratulations on your recent win as Best Actress at the European Film Awards. That's a really huge achievement. What does that mean to you?
I don't know. You tell. I don't
Nothing.
know. I don't think about it that much as other people, I think. I mean, not nothing. No, definitely not nothing. It's just a weird thing, you know. Maybe I see it like a postcard, I say sometimes. It's like a postcard that comes from home saying, we're with you, you know? Because
Yeah.
I do feel, I mean, it means something to me in the sense that I feel the way I make movies is a different way of making them, because I don't do them to be a good actor. I don't do them to be recognized as an actor. I really couldn't care less to be recognized or to be approved, but I do it to start some sort of dialogue around a subject or conversations around things that we need to talk about, or moving people, sharing my love for the world with people so they might feel it and they might change their view on things. And that's really why I do movies. So if they give me an award, I'm very happy, because it means that they are with me and I'm
Yeah.
doing this for everyone, you know.
It means people will maybe hopefully be more aware of the film and go and see it. And I hope people do. It's just so brilliant. When I spoke to Marie Kreutzer, the writer-director, we had such a fascinating conversation about what she had in mind. And then I realized that you, of course, were the one to suggest the film to her. How did this come about in your mind to have a modern retelling of the life of Cece, someone that we're aware of, but I think a lot of people probably don't know enough about?
Um, so it was because, I mean, I always have to go back into my childhood, because I think it's all explained by the fact that I grew up with a mother who taught me to be free and climb on trees, and, you know, the opposite of being a princess, really. But of course, being a girl, I was interested and drawn to the imagery of a princess, which my neighbor, they were watching these princess movies, you know, the Sissy movies with Romy Schneider every Christmas. And that's how I got introduced to Elisabeth. And they also had a biography, which I read at the age of 14 or 15. And reading this book, I remember feeling very sad all of a sudden. You know, I read it and I kept thinking, now here's everyone talking about this woman and about how weird she was and about how eccentric she was and what she was doing and commenting on it. And I thought, but why was she doing this? Why was she writing excessively? Why was she, you know, obsessed with her beauty? Why was she not eating? Why was she? So to me, it felt like there was like a darkness behind the curtain. There's a sadness. But I was, of course, too young to understand what I know now about her being a woman and me being a girl. And I think now I understand that I felt the same thing in miniature form. But, you know, at 14, I could feel how society was starting to tell me, oh, you're a girl, so you will have to go this and this and this, and you will have to look like this, and you will have to behave like that. And feeling some pain, you know, because of this, because I had been raised differently and I knew there's a way to be open. And I saw everyone the same. I saw every person as a human being. I was taught to love everyone the same. I was in love with nature. I was talking to trees, and people for me were beautiful things. So, you know, when society came to tell me that, oh no, now you're a teenager, so now you have to wear these clothes and you have to be cool. And as a girl, you have to be beautiful. I felt that as very, yeah, it hurt me actually. And this, I think, is why I related to this woman at the age of 15. And
Yeah.
that stayed with me. And when I worked with Marie, 2016, we knew that we wanted to work again. I said, you know, I really think we have to make a movie about her, because why is no one making a movie about this woman? And Marie looked at me and said, that's a very stupid idea. You know, she grew up in a country where everything was full of Sisi, but like Santa Claus. So to her, it was the utmost superficial thing you could ever think about. making a movie, you know, especially as a woman. And I said, well, but at 15, I had a feeling that there's something behind it. And then we didn't talk. And 2 years later, I got a analog hard copy of the script into my letterbox with a postcard. And the postcard read, "Dear Vicky, I guess you were right. Here's the script," you know.
Wow. That's an amazing story. Yeah, it didn't occur to me when I first saw the film how involved you were in the conceptualization of it. You know, the film's called Corsage. And I think it's tied in, pun intended, to what the film represents thematically. The opening scene sees Sissy submerged in a bathtub, and then, of course, the chambermaids are trying to tighten her into that corset. And I was just thinking, like, as the performer playing her, you're obviously in some discomfort. And I just wondered how important that is for you to feel this physical discomfort so that you can help portray authentically the discomfort and unsettling suffocation that Sissy was feeling at this stage of her life.
I mean, I just do my work, and it's just part of my work that if I play someone who's a, you know, cyclist, I will have to ride a bicycle. So it was clear to me that I would have to come close to this corset, but I have to say it was a mistake. I mean, mistakenly, I landed in the position of an actor who really wants to know how it feels, which I'm not usually into that because I don't like to hurt. I prefer to be well, but I didn't calculate, you know, I didn't calculate that if we would do a movie about it, I would wear it way over the time she was wearing it. She would wake up at 12, you know. And if you do movies, you start at 4 a.m. I remember one memory I have that is really portraying it really good. So my the woman who was always putting me into the corset, by the end of it, she had bleeding hands. And so it was really painful to her and to me. And one morning, I think it was 4 a.m., it was freezing cold. No one was there. I mean, even the technicians probably weren't there yet. And I said to her, you know what? This is so funny because this is so behind the scenes of everything, because the same thing they expect an empress to be, they sometimes think of actors, you know, being so, you know, everything so glamorous. When the truth is, I said to her, you know what we are? We are the guys deep, deep down in the ship who put the coal into the oven so the ship can run. And that is exactly how I felt. You know, I had no pride in doing it. And it didn't feel great. And I didn't feel like, oh, I'm doing a great job. I'm being this actor who's going into the experience at all. It really just felt painful. I hated it, but I knew that it was my fault. I had come up with this thing, so I had to stick with it, you know. That's more the way I saw it. And try to concentrate on everything else. You know, I try to forget it really because it is so painful and it keeps you away from your emotions and it makes you cranky all the time that it's almost something you have to ignore in order to be able to act.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it at all as a helpful thing.
Wow. I love how Marie subverts our expectations about what a luscious period drama is supposed to look and sound like. It's anachronistic, but not jarringly so. And the last third of the film really goes for broke and just shatters historical expectations on what Sissy's life was like. How much of that side of the film did you appreciate and value in bringing this story to a modern audience without going too far, but also without being so slavishly adhering to the period tropes?
Well, it doesn't go so far because it was never our intention to be anachronistic. You know, it was not like, oh, we are going to have this modern take. We were just making a movie and we wanted to do it the right way. And our most important point was to show this woman for who she was and give a woman a voice, representing thousands of women who need a voice. You know, I mean, we use it as a fairy tale to talk about something, to show something that so many women feel. So for us, the most important was to be truthful to the message and not to do a good movie or be correct historically. And the anachronistic things, they came as we were making the movie more and more. It was more like playing with it. The way I'm playing with my acting, you know, that was not nothing that was intended. It was not in the script that I was going to pull my tongue, or that I was. So the way I misbehave as an actor, she's misbehaving as a director. And I think both of us, being women, we were tired of behaving, or tired of explaining our misbehaving. We just wanted to misbehave because, create a character that is difficult because, that is complex because we all are these people. No one of us is just one thing. We are all multiple things, and we are full of contradictions. And so that's really what we wanted to do. And I wanted to have fun with it too. After Phantom Thread, I felt so much pressure of like, oh, the girl from Phantom Thread, and I kept thinking, I'm just me. I don't want to be anything, and I just want to play interesting roles the way I did before. And I think this is also me pulling my tongue to the industry, to this whole thing of, what is she going to do next? Who is she? And the expectation that we have of someone being an empress. Oh, now she's playing an empress. But then I don't play like an empress. That is not an empress, what I'm doing. That's a punk. So like a little bit,
Yeah, I love it. I just think I think what this film says about women's value, worth, and agency, even men's, people's, human beings. I found that so refreshing. I want my 14-year-old daughter, when it's appropriate for her to watch it, and hopefully be feeling slightly empowered for 2 hours. Vicky, thank you so much for your time today. It's a beautiful performance, whether you think so or not. And I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you.